Hey, welcome to episode number 4 of the In the Ride podcast with Curt Fletcher. Today's guest is going to be Dante, who is a comedian, a writer, an actor, director, pretty much everything. He does everything. So let's bring in Dante, everybody.
Boom, there he is.
There he is. What's up, man?
How are you, handsome? Good to see you, buddy.
You too.
This
What are
is
you
the
up
best
to?
part of the podcast.
What's that?
You're the best part of this podcast.
No, you stop it. How you been, man?
Good, man. I like how tall your hair's getting.
Yeah, it's not so bad. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's hard to stand up sometimes because it's kind of thick, but it's doing all right.
Is that Springfield, Missouri, Springfield, Illinois?
It's Springfield Isotopes, so nobody knows.
Oh, I see. The isotopes from the Simpsons. Got it.
Oh,
Never
yeah.
mind. I didn't see what the rest of it said.
Oh, yeah. I'm a big Simpsons fan.
Huge. Me too, dude. As soon as you said I knew it, I was like,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Yep. And actually, the team here in Albuquerque named their baseball team the Isotopes.
Hey, so do you remember that episode where we meet them and then they play that baseball song? Da 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 dee dee da dee da da.
Oh, yeah. That's my favorite episode.
Yeah, me too. So that song, when I was growing up, it was a Padres song, but I wonder if like whoever made it for every stadium, or if it started with Padres and then just became famous. Like, do you know anything about that?
You know what? I actually looked that up one time, and I don't remember. It was so long ago that I looked it up. Yeah, I'll have to look that up again. But yeah, that's such a great episode.
Yeah.
And a good song too. Just
Oh yeah.
So easy to get stuck in your head.
Yeah, and Ken Griffey looks fucking ridiculous in that episode. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
His giant head.
Yeah. And Daryl Strawberry's the only one that's normal.
Oh yeah. I love that.
Oh, such a great episode, man. So how's all this quarantine treating you, man?
I don't know. Not good. I mean, we can all lie and say it's going great, but
yeah,
I'm sure it's going better for me than it is for others, only because I get to live with Rebecca and her dad, and I have a daughter, and so how about you?
Not doing comedy sucks, but I've been focusing on other things. Like I just applied to SNL. I sent him a writing packet.
Cool.
So that was cool. And then I'm starting a band with my brother and my nephew. Starting a podcast, obviously. So just getting a lot of stuff done, like trying to be as creative as possible.
I love it. Good.
Yeah.
That's what you should be doing.
I should have been doing this before, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we really, that is one thing that we've learned is like she and I have gotten better at filming and figuring out how to make money online and ways that we weren't looking for before. And it's kind of nice now because now there's new sources of income coming in that we had never even thought of. And I guess
for
we'll
sure,
expand
man.
on those. Yeah.
And you just recently started a little YouTube show, didn't you?
Did we start this show yet, or?
Yeah, we're recording.
We are?
Yeah.
Oh, hi, everyone. I didn't know.
Sorry.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah. So yeah, you started a YouTube show, didn't you?
So I've got a few, yeah, but the newest one that I'm working on is called Getting High with Dante and Debunking Shit. Yeah. And that one's going to be really cool because on that one, I've got like a team of comic writers and experts and doctors and nurses and actors and all these people that are involved in editors and cartoonists. So we're trying to make a YouTube show that we can sell to the network. So the first episode, we got Bruce Valanche to be on it. Tom Green has expressed interest in being in our Bigfoot episode. Our first episode, we're going to talk about masks. We've already filmed it. It's being edited. Our second episode is what we're working on right now, which is lizard people. I really knew nothing about lizard people until one of our guests who wanted to be on the show, who now had to cancel, brought it up. So now we have to find another celebrity to be our guest for the lizard people episode.
Oh, man, I wonder why they had to cancel. Seems like another conspiracy.
Right?
Yeah.
We should do a show on that. Are we allowed to smoke marijuanas on your show?
Oh, for sure, yeah.
All right.
Absolutely. Smoke it up.
By the way, none of this is real behind me, you guys. This is Hollywood. Everything's a facade.
Everything's fake. The moon landing was filmed in Dante's backyard.
Movable. See? We'll just move all of this. None of it's real. That was one plant I need to replant. It's real.
So Dante, you got started in comedy when you were like 16, right?
Yeah, 15. Jesus, why did you say I could smoke pot?
I don't know.
Don't tell people they can smoke pot on your show. It's stupid.
I can edit that part out.
Yes, I did start. All right. Hi, everyone. I started when I was like 15 years old in high school with a comedy team called Dante and the Wolf. And the Wolf was this Jewish kid that I was in plays with and stuff in high school in drama class. And then about 2 years later, he became Christian and very religious and didn't like our act anymore. So we split off.
Oh, man.
And I went off on my own. And by like 1988, I had a fake ID saying that I was 21. And my friend Faison Love, who's been in a bunch of movies, who went to my high school, he had already done the same thing a few years before me. So he was the guy checking IDs and blah, blah, blah. So it worked out well for everybody.
That's cool.
I got in, and when I actually turned 21 after like 5 years of doing stand-up is when I moved to LA, because I figured if anyone checks my ID now, I actually have an ID. I don't know what I thought I was going to get away with, but no one ever figured it out, man. No one checks your ID once you're an employee.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, back in the 80s, they didn't have the best, they didn't have internet. So it's not like if they looked at my ID, everyone would know that it was a lie. You know what I mean? Like, no one rechecked it ever again. I still got my paychecks. I don't know how it happened. I honestly don't remember.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So you moved to LA just for comedy, right?
Yeah, comedy, acting. I mean, when I was a little kid, when I was actually 7 years old is when I started doing stand-up. I lived on a Navy base, and my dad was sort of in charge of like the USO shows and things like that. And this one improv group came through, and my best friend at the time, his name was Jared McQuarrie. I turned to him, I'm like, let's do stand-up. And he was like, yes, let's do it. So we sort of stole a bit from these people where they were doing a TV show, and they would flip. Like one person would say, okay, this is flipping through the channels, and like 10 of them would flip around and say something as you flipped, right?
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it would start off like, it was the 70s, and I forget what we changed it to. I forget what they said, but we had changed it to something like, hi, I'm Farrah Fawcett, and my favorite food is, and then I would turn around and he'd be like, Alpo dog food, you know, and then, and the kids would laugh and laugh when you're 7.
Oh, yeah,
It's the funniest thing you've ever seen.
That's great, man.
Yeah, man. The first joke I actually wrote wasn't even that one. The first one I ever wrote was when I was in like 3rd grade. Some kid cut in front of me in line, and I was like, hey, man, you can't cut in front of me. And he just like pushed me. He was like a 6th grader, and he had a big nose. And so I thought, I don't know why I thought this, maybe too many movies or something, but I thought, you know, if I got him with a good roast joke, he'd be done at that school. So I was like, hey, man, nice nose. Your ancestors didn't come over on the Mayflower. They came over on Noah's Ark as the elephants. Within half a second, my nuts were bleeding. I'm not kidding. He had turned and kicked me with his knee in the balls and exploded them, and I had to go to the hospital.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
And you still wanted to do comedy after that?
Yeah, can you believe that? That my first joke got me kicked in the nuts. I spent a week in a hospital because they were bloody. It was like bruising. It's not like my nuts popped out or anything, but yeah. Heavy bruising on my dick and nuts. And now my wiener, it's about as big as like a baby's whole body, let's say, okay? It's about, my wiener is bigger than like my head, but it goes,
I read that on your IMDb page.
Yes, but it goes a little to the left because someone's knee, or it just goes to the left. I don't know. That's my theory, though. I think
it just goes to the left. I think
it might. Oh. That's too much to think about, Curt.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. See, well, I remember getting my first big laugh like in kindergarten. I made this girl like shoot milk out of her nose, and I was like, oh yeah, this is awesome.
Was that when you were hooked?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
What made you do stand up? Like, when did you know? Were you like what?
I was actually 4 years old, and my mom used to watch George Carlin and Eddie Murphy on HBO, and I would be asleep or pretending to be asleep, and I would just hear her laughing, and I'd be like, oh, I wonder what she's laughing at. So I'd sneak out of the room, and I'd go in the living room, and the living room was set up where I could like just stand there, and she wouldn't know I was there. and I would see what she was laughing at, and she's always watching comedy. And I was like, all right, that's what I want to do. I want to make my mom laugh.
And does your mom like your jokes?
She loves them, yeah.
She does?
Yep.
Well, I want to thank you for coming on my podcast today, man. It's been really interesting.
It's been great, yeah.
Do you have anything you want to promote or anything?
Yeah, I'd like to promote my podcast.
What's it called?
In the Rye Podcast with Curt Fletcher.
People should watch that.
I think so too, yeah. I'm going to have Dante on there. I'm pretty excited about that.
I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm so sorry.
So Dante, you used to be the host. Like, you were a regular host at the Comedy Store. Can you tell us some stories from there?
Sure. Comedy Store stories?
Yeah.
Okay, so I started in La Jolla and stayed there from, I think, 86 until 91. And then 91, I moved to LA and I was a doorman. It was me, Carlos Mencia, and Eddie Griffin, and a couple other people I'm sure you guys would know. We were all the doormen there, and it was a magical time when I first got there. When I first got there in 91, you know, Sam Kinison, I realized as I'm writing my book finally, and I realized a lot of younger comics don't even know who Sam Kinison is, or maybe even like an Andrew Dice Clay. Because their fame, when I'm writing this book, I realized like Sam Kinison's real fame was from like 87 to 92. And Dice's was from like 88 to 95 or something. Those were the big years for both of them. So, but then that's it. You know what I mean? Neither were huge afterwards. Dice has been in a couple of movies, but I doubt if people would recognize him if you weren't a fan, you know, of comedy already. So it's really interesting that, you know, to look back on my life and see, to me, like, looking back, it's very interesting to see that I was hanging out with what I considered legends, and perhaps they are, but not to everyone. It's sort of like when you and I are in a comedy club and an older guy comes up and says, right, like Henny Youngman, and we both go, yeah, like Henny Youngman. And yes, we've heard his name, but I'm sure neither of us are as astute on Henny Youngman as we probably should be.
Yeah, absolutely.
That makes sense? Or am I just
it does.
Talking too much?
No, it totally does. Like, Henny Youngman's amazing, but I mean, I don't know how famous he was, you know? I wasn't around back then.
Right, me either. And
like, luckily, if I saw a picture of him, I would have no idea it was him, probably.
Correct. That's sort of the problem, too. And I promise you, if I held up a picture of, oh, man, I was going to say Kinison, but guess what? Where I run comedy, you've played the Secret Comedy Club. I don't know if you noticed, but there's some pictures of Richard Pryor and whatever. It doesn't matter who else. But people always go, who is that? I'm talking like these comics who are coming in to perform.
Oh, really?
That's who Richard Pryor is.
Wow.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That is crazy. Because I grew up watching Richard Pryor movies. I didn't even see his stand-up until I was older. Like, I knew he was a stand-up, but, you know, I watched, like, Moving was one of my favorite movies in the world when I was a kid.
Love that movie.
And then I learned that, you know, I could watch a stand-up later on. I was like, holy shit, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, man, but it's just sad because, you know, greats aren't always remembered the way you think that they're going to be after they die. You know, like you have someone like Marilyn Monroe, who's lasted forever. And you think that when Pryor was alive, everyone thought he was a legend and the greatest of all time. And now you have to explain to the next generation who he is, but they know who Bob Hope is, or they know who Marilyn is, or why. I wonder why. Who knows? Yeah,
it's interesting. I think maybe they were more mainstream than Richard Pryor for sure.
That's part of the reason for sure too, yeah. Yeah, I mean, the Comedy Store, back to your original question, it was a magical time when I first got there. I mean, I'm 21 and Kinison is taking me under his wing and I'm working with Richard Pryor here and there, and I was running a black room in the belly room upstairs, and next thing you know, I'm getting cast on BET's Comic View to do stand-up and winning awards and getting a BET sitcom. Like, it was a crazy time. And then showing up to the Comedy Store every night, and every celebrity in the world was there. Like, I got to hang out with Tupac. Like, I would have never become friends with Tupac if I didn't do stand-up at the Comedy Store.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
I remember you telling me that you got to hang out with Tupac quite a bit.
Yeah, man. It was, and a lot of those guys, you know, Snoop, Who else was there all the time? Shaq, Dr. Dre. All these guys would come to my show every week. I'd be shaking hands with celebrities, you know, but drunk, talking to my ex-wife. And she'd be like, that was Shaquille O'Neal. I'm like, oh, anyway.
You weren't starstruck at all back then?
I don't know. I was so famous on BET that I expected most black celebrities to know me. And it's not like I had an ego. I didn't have an ego about it, but everyone was famous at the Comedy Store.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's not like you're going to freak out every time someone walked by, you know, because the next bus that pulls up, all of a sudden Prince gets off and goes and watches a show, or, you know.
Yeah.
That's the magic of the Comedy Store.
I started out in Albuquerque, so like I'd go to the comedy club here, and I'd be like, "Oh my God, that guy's been on Comedy Central once," and so it's a little different than the Comedy Store.
Right, the Comedy Store, and it still is magical in that way. Like if people come to LA and they want to meet a celebrity, go to the Comedy Store.
Yeah.
There's going to be at least 10 on stage, and then at least another 20 standing around, whether you know who they are or not. But you know, if you're really coming to LA to see celebrities, that's probably the main hub, because you know, in the old days, I suppose like the Rainbow or those places had these giant musical acts and everyone knew to go there to hang out with all of them. The Comedy Store has never changed. It's always been the center hub of celebrities seeing celebrities. And that's beyond even the Improv. The Improv never had that kind of, you know, thing, and it's in the same town a few blocks away.
Oh yeah. The Comedy Store has always been the place, you know, like even when I was a kid, I knew what the Comedy Store was, you know. It's cool.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
And
it
then
really was, and is magical. There's something very magical about that place, and whoever's running it now, I forget his name, Adam something. He's doing a brilliant job.
Yeah.
Yes, that place is the most organized it's ever been. The only thing I want to say to the comedy clubs in LA and New York is this: up your prices, you guys. I don't know if people know this, but every club that's open here in LA has been paying the same prices since they opened. So if the Comedy Store was paying, you know, $15, $20 a spot in the 1970s, they're still paying $15, $20 a spot, even though parking right next door is $20.
Oh yeah.
You know, so
comedy is like the only job that the pay doesn't go up.
Well, it better, and it needs to, because we are paying our bills. You know, if you live in LA, you should be able to perform at the Comedy Store and pay your bills, because they're getting rich. Why can't the comedians take a bigger cut? You know, and the other thing too that I think all clubs need to do, every club, and if it puts you out of business, that's too bad. It's the law. Every club should have handicap ramps for their visitors and their performers. Period.
Oh yeah.
Like I should have been more active about this a long time ago, but last year I had surgery on my foot, and I could barely get up on most stages throughout the country because they're all stairs, and it made me realize nothing here is welcoming to people with disabilities. Nothing. And I didn't have a real disability. I was just uncomfortable on crutches. And how sad, right? Because you'll see some guy performing in a wheelchair on like America's Got Talent, but unless they go far, they'll never be in a comedy club. They won't. They'll play locally at their place where they have a ramp that they bring in their car. But no comedy club wants to fly someone out in a wheelchair and pick them up in a wheelchair accessible van and all that other shit that comes along with it.
Chris Fonseca is the only one I could think of that's been consistently booked for comics in a wheelchair.
I agree.
And he always brings someone with him. Yeah. Well, he always has to have someone with him to help him get on stage, because you're right, nobody has the ramp.
Nobody has the ramp. I mean, if someone wants to go see a show at the Belly Room at the Comedy Store in a wheelchair, I'm not joking. When I was there all the time, at least once a month, me and other men would be grabbing some poor man in a wheelchair and walking him upstairs, at least, you know, whatever that is to get up to the Belly Room, 15, 20 stairs. Walking him up, carrying, you know, 300 pounds, a 200-pound man plus his 100-pound or more, 200-pound wheelchair. If we all fell, we're all dead.
Yeah.
But that's how this poor man had to be treated when he showed up. Do you think he wants a bunch of men carrying him upstairs? I would be humiliated.
Oh, yeah.
So the Comedy Store spends all this money on this and that. How about putting in an elevator? You know, like, so what? So what?
Yeah, that would help a lot.
It would help a lot. And I don't know, man. So I feel like we're sort of in an American spring. I feel like the whole world needs to just do better. We all accepted
Absolutely.
things because we were all in a race. We were all like, oh, I got to get to work. I don't have time to, worry about Black Lives Matter. I don't have to worry about, them not having handicap stuff here or,
Mm-hmm.
we need to change shit before we go back. We do.
No, we totally do.
Yeah, man, because it's just not, we just don't live in quite the right world yet.
Yeah.
We're getting there. It seems like our lifetime has been the fastest sped up time in history. I remember maybe like 15 years ago watching a Morgan Freeman movie where he was the president and going, well, not in my lifetime. And then the next president was black.
Oh, yeah.
And then I was like, well, gay people have their rights someday. And then they got the rights to get married. And I'm saying, like, things seem to be going faster and faster and faster in the right direction. And also just being overturned quickly by this administration, sadly.
Mm-hmm.
Just for what? I don't know what. Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, it's a crazy world out there, Dante.
Rebecca, I'm doing a Zoom podcast in case you don't want to be seen, but it's Curt Fletcher.
Hi, Rebecca.
Take that. Hi. All right.
Hi, Rebecca.
So do you still say take that, Curt Fletcher?
No, I actually dropped it from my act because it started annoying me. I don't know why.
Well,
I just got tired of it.
I guess we'll never work together again.
Yeah.
Actually, we probably won't. You know what's so sad is you're so funny. There's no reason you need to be opening for anyone anymore. So we probably never will work together unless it's like
I honestly hope we don't. Like
I do too, for your sake. I mean that. Yeah? I mean, well, what? Huh? Wait, what? But I mean that. I hope that we don't work together unless it's like a co-headlining show because you're too good.
Oh, thanks, man. I really appreciate that.
Yeah. Yeah. Comedy club owners, listen up. He's not a feature, you guys. He's a fucking headliner. Pay him as such and treat him as such.
Yeah, sons of bitches.
Yeah. He's paid his dues long enough.
I really have.
You really have. I mean, didn't you start opening for me years and years ago as a feature?
Probably at least 10 years ago, yeah.
Right. So now you're a headliner. You were a headliner back then.
Oh, thanks, man.
Yeah. Really, me and Rebecca, I remember at least 10 years ago driving on a gig, listening to your album and loving it.
Oh, yeah, that one track because I didn't know how to edit it.
It was so funny, dude.
Oh, thanks, man. I had no idea how to edit that thing, so I just put it out as one track. It's like 42 minutes.
There's an airplane writing shit in my neighborhood. You want to see it?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Tell me if you can see it.
Okay. Oh, yeah, it's backwards. What does it say? Maybe it's backwards. Can you read it?
Something Peacock TV. They're promoting this new, it must be that NBC Peacock TV.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, they're doing it right over Hollywood Boulevard.
Oh, man, I should have applied to be a skywriter on SNL. Damn it.
Want to see my turtle?
Yeah.
Okay, can you see him?
Yeah, what's his name?
That's Thomas. He has 3 legs. One in black on this side.
Hold on, I can't hear you.
Oh, his name is Thomas! His name is Thomas the Turtle!
Cool. How old is he? He looks like he's pretty young.
He's like 49 or something.
That's
now
pretty
look,
good.
there's a police helicopter.
They're going to arrest the skywriters.
Yeah. So Thomas is missing his back leg because what happens is in the winter, I forget the name of the term, but it's not quite hibernation because it's more like a dreamlike state. They still have to eat a little bit.
Okay.
So turtles bury themselves in the winter because it keeps their bodies warmer and safe because, they need to hibernate. But what happens is if for some reason a piece of their leg is sticking out and there is a rat running by and they see meat, they just start eating it. And then the turtle reveals himself. And turtles, I don't know if you've ever been near a turtle, but they can't like pull their foot all the way inside.
Oh, okay.
Like their foot only comes to where their shell is, and now the rat just eats it right off. And so one day I came outside and this poor guy had 3 legs after a winter sleep. So I had to be the vet for him and take care of him and nurse him and stuff, but now he's better. Was that too much to tell you about?
No, that's sad.
It is sad. I love my
Because turtles
turtles.
are already like super slow, and this guy's missing a leg, and
Right, gosh, poor man. But guess what? He's a dad. Yesterday, his wife Darla gave birth.
nice. So
Yeah,
he's still getting some. That's nice.
yeah, he's getting some, and she pooped out eggs yesterday. I saw it.
Ah, cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty exciting.
What's your
How long does
favorite
it
color?
take? What's that?
Huh? Oh, it takes 3 months. What's your favorite color?
Mine is blue.
Mine's light blue.
Yeah.
That's probably why we're best friends.
Probably. Yeah, because like this one here, my drinking cup, that's one of my favorite colors right there.
It is?
Yeah.
Me too. I love light blue.
Yeah.
My car's light blue.
Is it?
Yeah, and then look at my chairs.
Oh yeah.
Chairs, light blue.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a
I
good
like
color.
it.
That's my
It really
daughter.
is.
That's my daughter's favorite too.
Oh, cool. How's she doing?
She's really good. She's good. She just turned 17. She has
Oh,
a
wow.
boyfriend who's the sweetest. Kid wrote me the sweetest note yesterday. Something about, when I grow up, I want to be just like you. You're, my idol. Like, what a nice kid.
Oh wow.
Yeah, yeah. And he really is a good kid. Like, not just, I'm trying to get in your daughter's pants and be
Uh-huh.
nice in front of you. He's been the sweetest kid I've ever met since the day I met him. Like, he's
That's
just
cool.
the real deal. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Good.
So my heart couldn't be happier for my daughter, and she's happy. She's so happy, she's already like telling him what to do all the time. Like, she's getting mad at him over nothing.
Does she have any desire to be like a comic or an actor or anything like that?
No, thank God. No. I mean, dude, I don't even know if she's seen me on TV. I'm being
Oh,
serious.
really?
Yeah, she was in a movie with me. The only reason she saw it is because I took her to the premiere. Like, she's a good kid. She loves movies. She just not, whatever. I don't know what it is, but they always say kids don't love whatever their parents do or whatever. I don't know why that is, but it kind of worked out this way with her because she could care less. The only thing she truly likes about our business, she loves makeup and would do that, but she would rather be some like giant stars makeup artist or work on Drag Race or something huge like that.
That's cool.
Yeah. Do you want a bunch of kids like a Curt Fletcher zoo?
I sure don't. My daughter's turning. She's 18 today.
Today is her birthday?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
See, I don't want any more kids. Are you just a one kid person too?
Yep. Oh yeah.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Yeah. Congratulations, buddy. 18 years old.
Yeah, it makes me feel old.
It doesn't make me feel old, but it makes
Yeah.
me feel like she was a baby yesterday and what happened. Don't you feel like that?
Yeah.
Wow, man. Congratulations.
Thanks, buddy. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a big deal, man. 18.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
I know. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Wow. So did she not get a graduation this year?
She's actually graduating. She's a senior this coming year.
Oh, I see. Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
So hopefully she'll be able to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too. That's how my daughter is. She's a senior this year too.
Yeah.
So hopefully we'll see. We'll see.
I hope.
I'm not sending my kid back. I'm not.
Yeah, I don't blame you. My brother's not sending his kids to school.
No way.
Yeah.
No way. Not unless they can make it safe, Because like even these casinos, they're like, we're wiping everything down. I go to casinos. I can't tell you how many times, whether it's an Indian casino, Vegas, Reno, any casino in the world, you see the janitor coming into the men's restroom and wiping down all the urinals, and then I'll see him take the same rag and then wipe down all of the casino stuff, the machines, the ashes, same towel.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I've actually seen a dead body at a casino, Dante.
What?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I was performing with my friend Stephen Michael Quesada, and he brought Brian.
Isn't he
Cranston.
on television?
Yeah, Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad.
He brought Brian Cranston to the show, which was awesome.
Wow, that's awesome.
So, but as I was leaving after the show that night, I saw a couple ambulances outside the door, and there's like a little fence area. They've got this sheet wrapped around this fence, and it's covered up, like it's obviously someone's dead, And then, but it was like super windy, so the sheet like flew up a little bit, and I just looked over at the right time, just saw this fat dead guy laying there. I was like, holy shit.
Dude, you don't have to tell me, man. Casinos, as soon as someone dies, they get them out of there right away.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah.
there's no investigation. There's no nothing. They want them off the floor immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man. I'll just be walking, through a casino. You'll just see some man on the floor, and everybody's like, "Yeah, he's dead. Let's get him out of here." Casinos, yeah, they're a little bit crazy, man. They
Yeah.
only care about your money,
Mm-hmm.
and that's it. Once you're out of money, get out.
Mm-hmm.
Get out.
Yeah. I think the casinos here in New Mexico had something to do with the comedy club closing.
Can I
because
ask you something?
Yeah.
Did you say a comedy club just closed?
Oh, it closed several years ago.
Oh, not because of this.
No. There actually was a club here in Albuquerque for 2 weeks last year, and it closed down.
So you're talking about the other one that was owned by what's his name, right?
By Russ, yeah.
Yeah.
Years ago, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Of course.
Yeah, it closed down. The casinos, they get a lot of breaks and stuff, and I have a feeling that they were paying off the governor at the time, Bill Richardson. That's just a thought I have.
We got to start over. It's too corrupt, our system. Really, no more lobbyists. None of that shit.
Mm-hmm.
None of it. Hey, is that a bear fucking a turtle behind your head?
What is
your head?
That's
a California bear fucking a turtle.
Holy shit, is it?
It looks like it, my friend.
My God. Oh, it's got 3 legs too.
What are you talking about?
The turtle has 3 legs.
Like mine.
Yeah.
And it's a California bear. Is this some sort of turtle California insult?
I didn't mean to.
Is that really what that is?
I don't know what it is, honestly. I'm in my mom's guest room right now. Man. I don't know. I'll ask her when she gets home.
Oh, good. All right.
I've never noticed that. I don't know what that is.
That's hilarious.
But I'm going to point it out every time now.
You should. There's a California bear fucking a turtle. What's up with that, Mom?
I'm going to sit like this the rest of the time. Just so you can see it.
Thank you, buddy. That's all I can concentrate on.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was going to ask you, where are you playing now if the clubs are gone?
I don't have anything booked until first week of September.
Are you going to do it? Have you been performing at all?
I did perform in Tucson a couple of weeks ago.
How'd that go?
It went well.
Did you feel safe, or would you do it again?
I felt safe, yeah. They check everyone's temperatures when they come in. Everyone's wearing a mask. They've got all the tables were
separated.
I didn't have to interact with anybody without a mask. Like as soon as I got off stage, I put my mask on, and I was able to sell some merch and stuff. But I wore my mask up until I went on stage, and then right as soon as I got off stage, I put it back on.
Very interesting. Yeah, I've turned down so many gigs, man, and I'm glad I did. Because
in hindsight, I kind of wish I would have, but
yeah. It's just that people forget it's not just the gig. I also have to go to an airport and be at that airport with people who are fucking around with masks, and then sit on an airplane with people like Ted Cruz who won't wear a mask, and and then everybody's eating and drinking and coughing and spitting, and it's just not worth it yet. Yeah. Especially because we know how much we get paid at comedy clubs. Comedy clubs, stop acting like you're poor. Pay us fair wages. Pay us fair wages. We can tell how many seats were sold or even given away. But even if they're given away, you can pay us more.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're always crying poor. Aren't they?
Oh, they always are, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. Fair wages for dick jokes. I'm going to get a shirt that says that.
You should.
Yeah. And non-dick jokes. So that you can last forever. So we might as well touch on the big news. Our friend Ron Jeremy has gone to jail.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if I should bring that up or not. I wasn't sure if you wanted to talk about it.
I could care less. I mean, it's like I don't mean that to be like flippant. I just mean it is what it is. I didn't do anything. I was his manager. Yeah, absolutely not.
You dropped him right away. Yeah.
Yeah, I dropped him the same day that this all happened, and that's okay. I mean, here's the thing. He helped us start our business by being, you know, a legend on our roster, but it was also a downside to that because he is Ron Jeremy, and if you want some A-list stars, they don't necessarily want to be with the same manager as Ron Jeremy. Others don't care. Others are like, oh, well, he's a giant star, why wouldn't I be? And others are like, I can't stand porn, I would never be associated. So it was a hindrance to our company in some ways, and you know, he and I got along very well, and because of his age and lack of technology, I had to see him more than I normally see clients because, you know, he had cameos and doesn't know how, I bought him 10 of these and he would never use it. He has a flip phone.
I remember the flip phone, Yeah,
you can't record a cameo on a flip phone. So then he would say to me, all right, great. You can take like 35, 40% as long as you come over and film me all the time. I was like, hey, that's better than my normal 15%. Let's do it. So that was actually turning into really good money, and he loved it, you know. But so what? You know, if he did what he's accused of, I hope he goes to jail forever. That's just how I feel about it. I mean, I love you too, but if you murdered someone, I'd say the same thing. You know?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
It's just.
I would not expect you to be my friend after that.
Right. I mean, I would hope you'd never kill someone. I mean, if you kill someone without it being, you know what I mean? Like, not in self-defense or...
Like if there's an elephant raping a turtle and I step in.
Elephants don't rape turtles. Bears do, stupid.
Oh, is it a bear? Oh, yeah. Sorry.
It's a California brown bear. That's what disturbs me about all of this.
It looks more like an elephant to me, though. You see that trunk?
I don't know, man.
I don't know. I'll take it off the wall and I'll investigate.
Yeah. I think you need to send it to me and your mom will never notice.
She probably won't.
Wouldn't that be fucking hilarious?
Oh, that'd be so funny.
You should send it to me just for like a week and then I'll mail it back. But the next time, I'll just take some pictures of me with that in the background and say, hey, Mom, here's my friend. And then I'll send it back.
I'll record another podcast with you and you have it in the background and yours.
I'll try to actually send me everything that's on the walls right there and I'll recreate
the room.
Yeah. Actually, you know what I should do? Forget all of that sending shit. You should take a picture of the room and I have a green screen.
Okay.
Next time we do. I'll just be in your room. We'll have the exact same
that'd be
background.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
I love that idea.
It's actually a brilliant idea, isn't it?
No, I love it. Yeah. I should do that with all of my guests.
That'd be hilarious, actually. I'm serious. Welcome to my room with Curt Fletcher. We each have the same background. So Curt Fletcher, so let's get back to Ron Jeremy. You've been involved with him as well as a comic and a writer. You wrote for the AVN Awards for my wife, Rebecca Coaching.
Yeah, thank you for that. That was so cool, man. That was such a fun
I was glad
project.
to have you do it. You're very funny.
I appreciate it. And I got to perform with Ron. We did that show in Denver.
Yeah.
I got to meet Ron's sister that day.
Susan, yes.
Yeah,
she's a very nice lady.
Yeah, she's so cool.
He has a great family. They're all great. Really.
Yeah, she told me, like, I had no idea that Ron had done stand-up back in the day. And she was telling me that, he'd perform with Seinfeld and Larry David and stuff like that. I was like, wow, I had no idea.
Everyone has known Ron for forever. And yeah, Ron, back before he even was doing porn, I think this is while he was still a teacher, he was doing stand-up at like Dangerfield, all these different places. And that's how he knew Kinnison. It was from like the 70s. He knew Kinnison and Dice back then. He said he actually did a show. Do you remember Billy Crystal doing a character called Joe Franklin or something?
Yeah.
He was like
I do remember
a local New York guy or something, public access or something. So that guy ran a comedy contest, and Ron's big claim to fame was that he came in second place to Andrew Dice Clay. So yeah, he was never the best stand-up, but
he was he did. I thought he did a really good hosting job that night. Not the best. He's no Charles Grodin, but
yeah. But it's like people have to understand. It's like if you want to come see a celebrity do stand-up, there's some celebrities that were stand-up comics beforehand, like a Nick Cannon or something like that. But then there's other celebrities like him or Michael Rappaport or Jeremy Piven that if you come out to see them, you have to understand that they're doing it in their later career to, make money. You're there to see a celebrity.
Mm-hmm.
And if they can make you laugh a little bit, great.
Oh yeah. I was pretty surprised by the allegations. Ron always seemed like a super nice guy. Like I didn't know him as well as you, obviously, but were you pretty surprised, or?
Yeah, I mean, it's a surprise and it's not, and I'll just be honest because that's all I ever have been. And
Yeah.
in 2017, about 3 days before Thanksgiving, Rolling Stone sent me this long list of things that Ron had done wrong, and I told Ron I had to drop him as a client, and he said, wait, none of this is true, I have proof. And I gave him a few days and he did prove it. I actually sent the proof to Rolling Stone. I said, we have actual proof that he didn't do the things you said. And when I say actual proof, I mean, like, someone claimed that Ron molested her at his house one night, and then they worked together on a set the next day, and he did it again then. And then she stayed at his house that night, and he did it again. And then the next day, she went off to work, and then when she came back, he did it again. Well, first of all, no one believes that story. But the second thing is she had gone on a radio show 10 years earlier saying that the one and only time she had ever stayed with Ron Jeremy, and told the whole long story about how he begged her for sex the whole weekend. And on the final night, she let him eat her out, and it was the best orgasm she had ever had, blah, blah, blah. So I guess I'm saying that's the kind of proof we actually had against these allegations. And Rolling Stone ran the story anyway. So I had never seen anything like that with my own eyes from Ron. What I had actually seen along the way would be things like, I remember one day a police officer called me from Seattle. It was a female police officer, and she says, hi, are you the manager of Ron Jeremy? Yes. Sir, your client is here in Seattle. I needed to let you know we need to get a hold of him. He's being accused of blah, blah, blah. But I have to let you know that the company, well, I guess he was at a bookstore, right? Adult bookstore in Seattle. And I guess that company had hired undercover cops to protect Ron. So when she showed up, she knew the officers. They said they didn't see him do whatever this woman had accused him of, which was like groping her and whatever. And so she said she had to watch all the videos, and she did. And she said that the woman came up to Ron multiple times and took photos and giggled and got her breasts signed. And then she claimed that he did this, 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 and this. And none of it's true, but I just wanted you to know we still have to turn it over to the DA, but I can guarantee you he's going to throw it out. And it all happened the way she said. Then we got a call back saying, would you like to press charges against this lady? And Ron said no, because he just didn't want it to go on. So I would see things like that. And then the only things I ever saw that made me a bit uncomfortable was he is a porn star, and that's not my world. You know what I mean? So if he goes into the bathroom with a woman at a restaurant, I'm uncomfortable with that. Not because he's doing anything wrong, but I just wouldn't go into the bathroom with a woman at a restaurant. And now he could get me kicked out of the restaurant because he wants to go mess around with a woman, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And also, we've all been around guys who act like they are a 15-year-old horny kid at the end of the night, you know, at a bar when there's like 3 women left and they're like, hey, you, hey, what about you? You want to, you know what I mean? I've seen Ron act like that, but I've seen every man act like that.
Yeah.
But I don't act like that. So when he does it around me, it also made me uncomfortable. But is that wrong? No. Men are allowed to get horny and try to get laid. So I don't know. I guess I never really saw anything that tipped me off to these allegations other than allegations. And when I had proof against what I had seen with my own eyes and ears and everything else, I just, you know, things blew off for 4 years.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, here's how it happened, Curt. I was sleeping, man. All of a sudden, I woke up to a phone call from Ron, and he goes, have you seen the news? I was like, what? All I knew to do was Google his name, because anytime he's ever said that, it's either good or bad. I Google his name, and it says Jackie Lacey, the DA of LA, is, you know, pressing charges against Ron. Now, I don't know what time it is in the morning, but he woke me up with the phone call, and I'm in a half daze. And I said, what's happening? I've been accused by these women. I said, okay, and the DA is pressing charges, correct? Correct. I told you when the Rolling Stone stuff happened, if anything else ever happened, I would have to drop you as a client. Yeah, I know, man. All right, well, I have to get off the phone because I have to write up a press release right away and send it out. Yeah, okay. He calls me back after the press release goes out, which basically says what I said to you, which is I'm dropping him as a client. I hope he hasn't done this, but if he does, I hope he's, prosecuted to the full extent of the law. He calls me back, why did you have to say the end part about full extent of the law? I was like, because if you're guilty, I hope they prosecute you to the full extent of the law. That's why. And he's like, yeah, I know, it just sounded harsh and I'm not guilty. I'm like, okay, buddy. So he calls me back maybe 3 more times that morning. Hey, do you have my lawyer's phone number? Do you have this? Do you have that? All of a sudden, this guy calls me up. That is a mutual friend. He's like, hey, how do I get a hold of Ron in jail? I'm like, well, I don't know. When he goes to jail, you'll have to call his lawyer. And he goes, you mean he's not in jail? And I go, he's not in jail. He just called me all day. So I give him, I just said, call him. The guy doesn't call me back. Nothing. I figure he talked to Ron. Then this other guy that we both know calls me, and he goes, Dante, do you have Ron's lawyer's number? Ron's in jail, and I need to get a message to him. I'm like, what? Ron's in jail? Like, that's how fast it all happened. Mm-hmm. I woke up to a phone call with my company running like normal, being told by my client that he's being, whatever. I didn't know he was being arrested or turning himself in. So that's how I found out everything. I just woke up to it one day. It was insane, dude.
Yeah, I remember seeing your post, and I was just like, "Holy shit!" Like,
that was written in 5 minutes with no sleep.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I remember I unfollowed him on Twitter right away, and you got some pretty shitty comments on that, didn't you?
Me? No, not really. I mean, some people were saying, I honestly don't care about trolls and shit on the internet. I could care less.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Twitter's the worst.
Hey, I love flowers, and someone's going to hate on you. They will.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't like rocks? What's wrong with rocks?
Always someone that has like 10 followers too.
It's always someone who has like 8 to 10 followers, or too many followers for who they are, and you're like, you paid for that. You have 8. You know what I mean? Like. Anyway, yeah, every comment they make has 0 likes, but you have 27,000 followers. Give me a break.
Yeah.
And not one of them has liked one of your comments, not yet. So yeah, I mean, the only comments negative I got, I would say 99% were positive.
Oh, good.
The 1%, no one ever blamed me. It's like trying to blame, Weinstein's agent or manager. It's not like it's their fault. Or his family or sister. That's ridiculous. So no one ever blamed me, and how could they? But the only feedback I got that was negative was some people were like, Dante, you're a traitor. You abandoned Ron.
So I think that's probably what I saw.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I mean,
they don't know my relationship.
Doing shitty things, then yeah.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Ron and I have known each other for 30 years. We have. I've never once said I hated the man.
Yeah.
And I hope he's innocent. I really do. I hope he's innocent. But if he's not, like I said, bye. Yeah. Bye. I mean, I'm that woke. I'm not some, guy who's going to stand by a friend that's accused of rape. I mean, until we find out what's happened,
Actually, I just found out when I went to Tucson, I knew a buddy of mine had moved out to Arizona. So I went to look at his Facebook page to see if he was in Tucson, and said he was in Phoenix. So I was like, okay. Then I noticed he hadn't posted in a long time. And I was like, I wonder what's going on with this guy. And I'd seen someone post on his thing, and they hadn't heard from him in a while. And I was like, oh, shit, I hope he's not dead. So I Googled his name, and the first article that pops up is like, this guy with the same name goes to prison for molesting a 10-year-old. And I click on it. I was like, please don't be him. And there he is right in the picture. I was like, God damn it.
It's a comic?
That's not a comic. No, it's just a friend of mine, or a former friend of mine.
Yeah, like, see, former friend, exactly.
I deleted him.
And no one can blame you.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, the only negative thing, and I'm not going to say who it was, but a comic who I am friendly with, who is a pretty well-known comic, probably about the same level as me, sort of like B-list or whatever. He wrote on my Facebook page, when I wrote that thing about Ron, he just wrote, ha, 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 ha. Like, to me, like he's, and I thought, why would you say that to me? I didn't do anything, but this guy's kind of gone off the deep end thinking that everyone in Hollywood is a conspiracy, and, so you can't blame people right now, man. We're in the weirdest time in history. People are going nuts. They are. We have a president who, did you ever read The Dark Tower? All right, so there's a book by Stephen King called the Dark Tower series, and when I say book, it's like 8 or 9 books, and they're all like
shit.
Yeah, but I listened to them with Rebecca on the road. We don't read. Come on, you can't read on the road. So we listened to these really long books on the road, and there's something so similar about what he wrote. Something happens in the world where this virus kills off so many people, and the governments just sort of stop helping people, and time slows down, and no one really knows what day or time it is anymore. And it's so crazy that we just read these books, and now I feel like I'm living in that time period. Because it does make people insane. It does. You know, when I go to Dallas, there's a condo. Have you ever stayed in the condo in Dallas?
Yeah.
Okay. So, as you know, if you play Fort Worth, they put you up in a hotel, and then you move to Dallas, and then you basically stay there from Monday all the way through the next Monday when you fly out, or Sunday, or whatever it is. But you're alone in a box. It's a very tiny little apartment. And for me, I don't live alone, so I'm used to other people being around. And I'm not joking. By the end of the week, I call my wife and go, babe, I've been talking to myself all day. I'm feeling nuts. I don't feel right in my brain. And so that's a week of me feeling quarantined alone. I can't imagine how others who aren't with their mother or parents or friends or whatever are doing. Those are the people I worry about the most, because they don't have someone to constantly reassure them or hug them at night or rub their neck when they're sore because they can't go get the massage now or whatever they used to do, or get that shot from their doctor as regularly because doctor's not even open or whatever. I mean, that's my life, man. I suffer from really, really bad neck, back pain. I have arthritis and all this stuff. And because of COVID, I haven't had the right medication in a while.
Oh, really?
I had to switch providers. I still haven't gotten shots. I used to get shots all the way down my spine every month. I haven't had those in 5 months. So I'm just like...
Have you thought about getting penis reduction surgery? I heard that helps.
That could be fucking up my lower back, I'm thinking.
For sure.
For sure.
It's probably fucking up Rebecca's too.
It's the only thing keeping her with me, because look at this.
I know, I didn't want to say it.
I know. It's just shit, man. And the guy's always high.
Hey, I do have to wrap it up. It's been about 50 minutes or so. I don't like to keep it on.
It's okay, buddy. I just was so happy I got to talk to you today.
Yeah, we could talk for hours, man. I'm so glad that you agreed to do this.
Me too. By the way, I'm telling the whole world, go see this man. I've loved him for over 10 years. He is one of the funniest and most dedicated comics in the country, and I do believe he will be someone the whole world knows.
I appreciate it. Hopefully for a good reason.
Yeah, hopefully you get on Saturday Night Live and you kick some ass, man.
Thanks, man.
You deserve it.
I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for taking time to talk to me, man.
Of course, man. Thanks for coming on Debunking Shit with Dante and whatever it's called.
Oh, yeah. I'm looking forward to seeing that, man. That's going to be awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. Me too. Because I only filmed my parts. Everybody did their separate parts, and we have an editor, so I have no clue what this is going to look like.
Cool.
Maybe we'll have a fun, like, Zoom preview, and you can come.
Oh, that'd be great, man.
Yeah, if you ever want to work on it, we always need writers.
For sure. I'd love to.
Let me know. If you're serious, send me an email later.
I'm totally
and I'll
serious.
add you to the writer group.
Okay. Cool, man.
Because that way, too, you can film stuff where you are and send it in.
Yeah, I just bought a brand new camcorder. So I'm excited. Hell yeah.
Sweet. Okay.
Well, cool. All right, enjoy the rest of your day. Tell Rebecca I said hi. Tell Henry I said hi too.
All right. Sounds good. Bye, buddy.
All right. Take care, buddy.
Bye.
Yeah.